Hey, welcome. I'm your host, Brandon T, Working Man Committee Podcast. In our stack of stuff today, we're talking about NFC wild card game. Tom Brady. Tom Brady look like an old man out there. We're gonna go over financial news about tech layoffs, what's happening, who doing it, why they doing it, and so forth. We're gonna talk about ridiculous news. Golden State Warriors went to visit the White House. And we're going to talk about our top story. How much rent would you pay or be expected to pay if you needed to go back home for a few months, half a year, and so forth to get yourself together? And with that said, let's go. Welcome to the Brandon T Show, where we talk about everything that's important to the working man. And we're not politically correct here. So working man means men, women, whoever's out here getting it. We come to deliver the news that's important to y'all. And with that said, this is the Working Man Committee. All right. Let's get into the top story. Hunter Biden. Question for you. Before we get too far into it. You needed to go back to the house for a few months to get yourself together, or you're in the midst of buying a house and you just needed somewhere you want to sign another lease and so forth, or your children need to come back. They're making money though. Your children making money, got jobs, and so forth. They transition into whatever they do. How much rent would you think you need to charge them? Not much. Enough to make it, you know what I'm saying, so they can still stack their money or whatever? Okay. Let's get into this. Top story. Hunter Biden says he paid nearly $50,000 a month to live at the house with his daddy and stepmom with the classified documents in it. Yep. Hunter Biden said he claimed he paid $49,910 a month to live with his daddy, President Joe Biden, in his Delaware residency, where the classified documents were discovered. Yes. Now, let's see, how long was Hunter there and how much did Hunter pay? So Hunter was there from March 2017 to February 2018. That's 11 months. At $50,000 a month, he paid $550,000 for that time. Now, question I have is, if you have you could buy a house for that. Yeah, you could buy a house, even in Delaware, for that money, and so forth. So I'm like, why would you charge him that much, Biden? What was happening? So, like I said, we got a former deputy assistant to President Trump has questions. First, he wants to know, how was Hunter Biden able to afford to pay his father nearly $50,000 a month? I got a question. I want to know, too. Where did the money come from? Did you pay $50,000 a month? Not even, that's a month ago. $550,000. Where'd the money come from? How did it get through you to him? Let's see what was in these documents. Let's see. When President, when Joe Biden was vice president, he frequently appeared sidelined with his son in business affairs, including Ukraine, China, and other places. But he said he never had conversations about what they were talking about, but he was there. So the White House, the House Oversight Committee has sent a letter to the White House on Friday questioning whether Hunter Biden had access to the classified documents discovered at the residence. So we already know what's going to happen with that. Let's see, the committee is concerned that President Biden stored classified documents in the same location as his son resided while engaging in international business dealings with adversaries of the United States in a letter that Reuters reported. So the House Oversight Committee is looking at this and saying, did Hunter Biden was anywhere near where the documents were stored? So we know now from reports that the documents were last found in the garage beside the Corvette. So did Hunter Biden ever borrow the car? Did Joe Biden ever take the car out and not close the garage back because it was a sunny day? Did they take the car outside, wash the car, the garage open? That's all mishandling. And so here we go. Joe Biden's lawyers discovered classified documents in Delaware residence in December 20th. Okay. December 20th. Before the finding more on Wednesday, Thursday, according to Biden's special counsel. So the lawyer turned over some and then said, oh, that's it. And then 2 days, and then the next day we found a little more. The next day they found a little more. The first batch of classified documents was discovered in the Penn Biden Center, a think tank where Biden held a private office days before the midterm election in November. So, who had access to these documents at that time? All right. So the White House said on Monday there is no existing visitor logs who had access to the Delaware residence where the documents are, and that after Republicans requested the logs. So you got classified documents, and there's no chain of command, custody, and so forth who had access to that. They just documents. They over there, and whatever. So we got the story getting deeper and deeper here. Now we see that money was going through Hunter to his daddy at some of $550,000 for rent payment. Now I don't know nowhere that you would rent your parents' house, a room in your parents' house, for $500,000 for 11 months. I don't know. Maybe that's rich people problems. I don't know. All right. Our next story. Ooh. Next story in the stack of stuff is climate activist Greta Thunberg was detained by police in Germany at a coal mining protest. Yeah, Greta Thunberg, remember her? Now, I'm gonna say this for people that protest to get your, your accolades out there. First, you gotta be able to get on the microphone or the blowhorn first, and then it's about your arrest record. How many arrests could you get for the activists, and that boosts your status. And so let's go to CNN to talk more about what Greta was doing and why she was doing it. Go.
From custody after being detained by German police for a second time this week. Thunberg had joined protesters to oppose the expansion of a coal mine operation in western Germany. Police say she and other demonstrators broke through a police barrier heading for a coal pit, which authorities say could have collapsed under the weight of the group. Thunberg was also detained on Sunday after addressing demonstrators and joining the protest.
All right. So Greta Thunberg was her second time arrested at this particular site that the police spokesman said. And she was part of a larger protest group that broke through a barrier. And from my understanding, listen to the report, is that where they went to was very dangerous because of where it was a cavern they could have fell into. All right. Matter of fact, Greta, Matter of fact, working man. Y'all see how easily Greta was arrested? They just carried her along. She just This is what the rest should have looked like. Go. Yeah, that would have been a more appropriate rest scene than the gently carrying her out. It's almost like sacking a quarterback, right? In the NFL. Did I not get a penalty? Right. All right. Our next story could have made our ridiculous segment, but we kind of held this one out because this was quasi ridiculous. Actually, it's probably all the way ridiculous. All right, check this out. Husband of the female cop fired for having sex with 6 male officer is sticking by his wife. Yeah. Megan Hall, 26, of the police department down there in Texas, was fired after a probe found she engaged in a sexual relationship with multiple officers. Who started that? My question is, how you start a probe that way? Did somebody talk? Did somebody like, oh, guess what? Look what I was doing. No. Hall had claimed that she was in an open marriage and tried to recruit her sheriff deputy husband of 4 years, Mr. Hall, 28, for a swinging session. But that didn't happen, and they came out. And so now there was her plus 6 males. And if you look here, everybody didn't get the same treatment. First 2 guys. See these 2 guys here? Fired. Second 2 guys, suspended. Now, looking at these 2 sets of people, anything stick out to you? Anything catch you off guard? They're like, man, why did they get fired versus why the others got suspended? Yeah. All right, so let's go to the news report, and so we talk more about this situation and how the public feels. Go.
A page report has been completed into sexual relationships at the Laverne Police Department. Some happening while officers were off duty and at work.
Doing something while you're at work, I mean, for everybody else who goes to work, we're held to that same standard.
Jerry Howell says he was in disbelief when first reading the report and wants changes from city leaders. The investigation says Mayor Jason Cole got the first tip about the relationships.
It's just bad. It's like a stain, I guess.
We requested an interview with Mayor Cole, but was told he was not willing to talk on camera. Instead, he released a statement saying, in part, "We will be retraining all of our employees in the rules, regulations, and expectations set forth by city leadership."
Be a wake-up call for Laverne, but also a wake-up call for our police department to take care of themselves.
Yeah, it looks like because people's sexual appetites have the public feeling mistrust. I don't know. I mean, open marriage, if 2 consenting adults have that type of agreement to say they do whatever they want to do, is one thing. I guess doing it while on the clock is a different thing. So the officials launched the internal probe back in December after receiving a report of Hall's intimate relationship at a booze party, hotel, or even a police prior. So somebody told on her. Went to a party and she was acting wild. Somebody didn't like it or wasn't invited and told it on her. I think somebody wasn't invited and they got mad they weren't invited. Or the classic. Somebody was first, fell in love, and then found out she do whatever she do, and was hurt, and told it on her. But it is what it is. So she was fired, and these other officers we showed earlier was fired, and some were suspended. I think a little unfair, but hey, it is what it is. All right, and financial news. Tech layoffs. Yes, people in tech. It's getting rough out there. So, tracking tech layoffs. See, while the last labor market was remarkably strong, the tech labor is not so much. After a massive hiring spree in the first 2 years of the pandemic, industry giants like Amazon, Meta have reversed course in 2020. There was at least 150,000 layoffs, more than 1,000 tech companies last year, according to the layoff FYI. Yep. The website that tracks layoffs for March. The website is tailored to things that continue fast chips of 2020 and more than 26,000 layoffs recorded so far this year. So, at 2023, just started. 18 days in it, there's been 26,000 layoffs. The number of layoffs is much higher than the site has cited because they don't report layoffs created by Rogers Lee. Doesn't talk about all the very small companies. And so just to give you an idea of the layoffs, we put it right here. We got Meta, used to be called Facebook, 11,000 layoffs. Amazon, 10,000 layoffs. Cisco Systems, 4,000 layoffs. Carvana, the car vending machine, 4,000 layoffs. And Twitter, 3,700 layoffs. Yeah, it's getting rough out there in the tech. So all the people that added look like they dumping all those extra people. Oh, and a side note, Microsoft is scheduled to lay off 10,000 employees this year. So if you're over here at Microsoft, I hope you're not in the mix there. Now, this story here made what in the world? Joe Biden and Kamala Harris had a photo out with the Warriors, Golden State Warriors basketball team, took an awkward turn. Yes. And the Kamala was like, I'm not doing that, so let me show you what happened. Here's a video clip of what happened at the White House. Go. Yeah, so as you see, Joe Biden got on his knee. I guess he's taking a knee. And then he attempted to play some defense. And Kamala was not having that. She kind of just melted into the background with the team. Yep, it was very cringeworthy, as a lot of people in the room felt. Let's see, that the photo op was taken while President was on bended knee, and Coach Kerr is saying no and shaking his right hand, and waving him off. So they tried to stop him, but to no avail. And Kamala laughed and said she's not doing that. While Joe Biden was making a fool out of himself. Okay. I don't know what the message was there, Biden. But what in the world? Next story. Football fans. NFC wildcard game. Dallas Cowboys versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And Dallas Cowboys won that game 31-14. And I want to point out some things in this story. So, for people that saw the game, you know, I noticed people that didn't see the game. So, Tom Brady is the quarterback of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tom Brady was the one that came back football, lost his whole family because his family was ready for him to give up the game, but he wouldn't give up the game. And so, in this game here, Tom Brady was playing like an old man. I'm gonna say playing like an old man. Now, he still can sling the ball, strong arm, but he was scared to get hit, and so he was missing throws wildly off because he was hearing footsteps. Like I said, 45 years old, it's hard to take the tackles. So my thing is this: if you're not gonna stand in there and take the tackles, then why'd you come back in the first place? Lose everything. Lose your family and so forth. Or maybe you didn't want your family. But like I said, there's been reports that I think it's come up that his dad said somebody got to put him in a straitjacket to get him out of playing football. He won't play football until he can't move. But anyway. Yeah, but like I said, Tom got good stats. He could have been walked away with these good stats. So Tom's winning percentage of the quarterback, he got 251 wins, 649 touchdowns, 89,000 passing yards, 7,000 completions. He's got 19 divisional titles, 15 Super Bowls, 15 Pro Bowls, 7 Super Bowls, 5 MVP, and been in 10 Super Bowls games. So he's been in 10 games and won 7 of them. It's a hell of a career. Tom, what's going on, buddy? If you can't stand there and play like everybody else play, get up. Don't even try to come back next year. Just enjoy your time. Figure out what you want to do. If you want your family back, I'm pretty sure you might can make that negotiation to get your family back. Or go do something else. Play golf, get in the booth. You and Tony Romo sit beside each other and call games or however you want to do it. There's an opportunity for you. But like I said, if you're going to be out there and scared to play, you're hurting your team. Yep, so with that said, this has been the Working Man Committee. I am your host, Brandon T. Like and subscribe. Follow us on all social media, Working Man Committee. And we'll see you next time. Peace.